Physicality, she's an assassin. Silent, she's very strategic. She's strong. She gets over herself. She knows how to follow when she needs to be led.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that was thrown at her, this woman still got up and did what had to be done. Hey guys, and welcome to Pero Comma Podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So today we're going to be talking about book baddies. These are the chicks in the book that you read, you look up to them, you admire them, you love them, you want to be them, you have a crush on them, whatever it is. We're going to share ours with you. We will also have on our Instagram, we'll have a template that you can fill out with your book baddies. Keep track of your book baddies for the year. And we would love for you guys to share that with us. So,
yeah.
Colette, would you like to start with your A or your first letter? Because I know I don't have all my letters.
I have an A. Do you have an A?
I have an A.
So my A is Addie LaRue from The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Okay. I know it's a struggle for that book. A lot of people could not get into the book. It was absolutely a slow burn. But I feel like once you hit that 30% mark, it takes off. And then I'm like, oh, this girl is genius. And the way it ends, yeah, that's my boo, Addie LaRue.
Okay. That is the book, one of the ones I started and did not finish. But again, not because I didn't like it, because I did. So I'm going to finish it.
Okay. And for you?
My A, I mean, you are Aelin Galathinius Whitethorn from Throne of Glass.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was going back and forth between her and Addie, and I was like, I gotta go with Addie.
Aelin is a beast in every aspect.
Yeah.
Physicality, she's an assassin. She's very strategic. She's strong. She gets over herself. She knows how to follow when she needs to be led.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that was thrown at her, this woman still got up and did what had to be done.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Do you have a B?
I do have a B. Who's your B?
I don't have one that I could remember.
Well, my B is Bree Matthews from the Legendborn cycle, which is another series I told you to read. Loved it. Love her. She was thrown into this world. First of all, let's just start with she's black, right?
Ooh.
And black people run. We don't go into shit. We not messing with none of that. She went in there. She didn't know what was happening. She was like, wait a minute. These are dead ghosts. These are ghosts. They're talking to people. They can take over your bodies. And she still went through and she worked through it all. I'm just saying. And then she found out another part of her, which has to do with like, I guess you would call it roots, a magic system. Mm-hmm. So she had double whammy. And she handled it with grace for her to be, and it's a YA novel, so she's like 16, but she handled it with grace. And then I love the writing. Tracy Deon. She tackles grief really well.
That's one of the hardest things for us to deal with.
The way she writes it, the way she explains it, the way she expresses how she feels about it. Off of that, I'd give it 5 stars. Just the way she tackled it. Like it was fantastic. And then she brought the story into it because, it's really about King Arthur and his round court, which is so cool. I've never met a fantastical book with King Arthur with black people. Like, I'm sorry, that went over.
You know what? I always pictured Merlin being black.
And I love the theory that she has for Merlin. Even though he wasn't black, but just like the way he was as a wizard, it wasn't a traditional sense,
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually really, really, really well written. And Bree Matthews, I think she handled that really well. So yeah, she's my B.
Okay.
And what's the next letter you have?
C.
Okay, I don't have a C.
Celia from the Night Circus.
Of course. You've been trying to get me to read that book. I'm gonna
Oh
read
my
it,
God,
girl.
it's just so pretty. Just the way that they show their love for each other. Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
it's a romance book?
yeah. In a way, yeah. No, it is. There's romance in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 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 yes,
Okay.
yes.
Celia. All right. What's your next
Hmm.
letter?
D.
We'll keep going. My next letter is until H. So
Okay, so D.
Mhm.
Dallas from My Dark Romeo. Because
You know
I,
what?
I,
I'm gonna add her.
I aspire to be like she. Okay, not just the pettiness, because I know my family members, if they watch that video, they're gonna
Yeah.
be like, okay, she knows petty. But the way that she, like in a part of the book where she's like, I don't want to get a divorce. I
Yeah.
want to, I want. She continued to hope for that love with him,
Yes.
and to be able to hold on to that hope with everything that they went through, like not that they went through, for how
Yeah.
rude as he was, as mean as he was at times. Not mean, because it wasn't, he wasn't doing it with the intentions of hurting her.
It
In
wasn't
his
malicious.
eyes, he's like, I'm being honest with her. I'm not
Yeah.
leading her on. She knows what this is, and that's what it is.
It wasn't
The,
malicious.
yes. So, but she held on to that hope, and
Mhm.
that and the pettiness, it's just, she had to be on my list. She just
Yeah,
had
her
to.
petty was top tier. I can only aspire to reach that
Mhm.
level.
Yes.
She's if it's 3 levels, she's on the god tier level. Like
Yeah. No, so I had to put her on there. And then I have an E,
Mhm.
Evangeline from Once Upon a Broken Heart.
Oh, I haven't read that yet. Okay.
Because she's another one with the hope for love. Okay, I see a trend.
You know,
Anyway.
pattern.
The hope for love and holding on, like as soon as she realized her feelings and all that, holding on to it and fighting for it.
Mhm.
And she had rose gold hair. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then my next one's an H. So go ahead with your H, Madame.
So my H is Harlow Shaw from All I've Wanted, All I've Needed. That's the Rise and Fall series I was telling you to read. Love her. And she's young. She's a young adult, I would say. She's like 23, 24. But she's finding herself, which let's be real, we're in our 30s. You don't ever stop finding yourself.
Girl, I'm in my
But
40s.
yes, and we still never stop finding ourselves. So for this one, I really like it because I feel like it's her first time stepping out as an adult, have an adult relationship, learning about herself, what she wants, what she needs, finding that love for her. And she did it with grace. She didn't let the heartbreak ruin her. Because some people become bitter and jaded. She still hoped for better. So I love that about
Oh,
her. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Mine is Hazel from Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz.
Okay.
Um, she basically gave no F's about what a woman could and couldn't do during this
Mhm.
time period. And it's a young adult book. I think it's a young adult book. She's young in the book, and she's in the era where women could not be doctors.
Okay.
And okay, so this is not one of those inspirational stories. It is a love story. So
So it's
basically,
not
like,
medicine woman type thing.
no,
Okay.
no, because there's a little bit of lore to it. So
Okay.
it's not completely human realm kind of thing. Like there's necromancy in it.
Okay.
Um, but she is so intelligent and so, oh God, persistent with what she believes needs to be done,
Mhm.
and just her like keeping on going, keeping
Yeah.
on, like she did not stop, and very, very intelligent. So I had to put her on the list. Yeah. That was my H.
Okay. You have an I?
I do.
Ooh, who's your I?
Inej Gaffa from Six of Crows.
Another series Liz is trying to get me to read.
Yeah, she's just badass. I like her. And I
Mine
like
is
how she handles Kaz, which is one of the characters
Kaz is in the show, isn't he?
in Shadow and Bone.
Yeah.
I think so. I haven't watched the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was his name.
Kaz Brecker.
I don't know about the last
He
name.
wore gloves.
Yes.
Yes, that's him.
Ah!
Yeah.
So he came from another series into.
Yes, and I have not read that series yet.
So I'm intrigued. Okay. So for my I have Imogen from Fourth Wing.
Oh, I didn't even think of her.
Because she came a long way. We thought.
Oh yeah, I did not like her
Yeah.
at the beginning.
We thought, but she came a long way, and that's just my little boo. She got my heart. Aww. I understand where she came from and how she got there and why she felt the way she felt, and then to grow into who she became. That was awesome. I loved her arc.
She's definitely loyal.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I liked her. After the beginning.
Right.
But even at the beginning, you had respect for her.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like from the beginning you're like, oh, gross, she's a bitch, I don't like her.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she grew on you. What's your next letter?
Mine is K.
Okay, go ahead. I don't have a K.
Okay. Karu, I think I'm saying that right, from Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Great series.
You read that?
Yes.
I literally have that on my and I've never heard anyone else talk about it.
I know, which surprises me because it's such an amazing series. It's older because this is but it's such a good, I couldn't put it down.
Okay.
I remember I got it as an ebook from the library, could not put it down. Could not, the whole series.
Okay.
Really good. Really, really good. So she's my K. Do you have an L?
No.
I have an L.
Who's your
Luna
L?
Lovegood from Harry Potter.
I want to say from Harry Potter.
Yes. Don't do that.
Yeah. She's
amazing.
Actually a really good character.
She just was who she was, and she gave no fudges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her dad was a punk, but she was great.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have an M?
I sure as hell do.
My M is a real person.
Yes, I know. Go ahead.
So my M is Michelle Obama. Don't come for me. Don't come for me.
I think she's great.
And the only reason I say that, a lot of people were like, oh my God, she was married to the former president and she was the first black first lady. And no. Shit about none of that. What I do like, though, is when I read Becoming, which was her autobiography, at least up to whatever point of her life. First of all, she writes really well, which I respect, because as a reader, I just feel like when you can write well, to me, that says a lot about you. I just feel like you're intelligent. But it was just, it humanized her for me.
Aww.
I feel like a lot of people look at her and they put her on a pedestal as like a superhero. Like, this book really humanized her. Like, she had a part in the book where she said she supported Barack when he was running for presidency, but she was like, I was hoping and praying that he would fail so that he can come home.
So she was real.
Yeah, she was like, so he can come home and work a 9 to 5. She was like, I didn't want to do none of that. She was like, I wanted to work 9 to 5. He would work 9 to 5. We go on weekends and take our girls to the park. Like, she wanted a regular, normal life. And I respected the hell out of that, because I was like, that's real. You have to make those sacrifices when you're in a relationship, especially with someone that's as ambitious as your husband was. And I think that just, yeah.
You can tell, and this is just from the outside, but you can tell that she was able to take that want that she had and let it go when he stepped into that role, because they still flourished. When you hold that type of resentment, like, it's not, what I mean?
And she talks about
I love that. And he always did very good about letting her represent herself as herself, not
Yes.
as, oh, the president's wife.
Right.
But I like that. I
Yeah.
like that, Colette.
It was a really good book. I would recommend anyone and everyone to read it. I just felt like it was because she tells her story, like how she grew up. Like she grew up poor. Like it was her brother, and her parents, and they had like a 2-bedroom, and it was like it wasn't even like a real apartment. It was more like a loft on top of a business that they rented out
Oh, okay.
to afford. And yeah, but it was really good. Really, really good. Who's your M?
Well, we're going right back into the fantasy realm.
Okay.
Manon Blackbeak.
Manon. I'm gonna put the name on the
Manon.
screen. I'm gonna put the name on the
Manon.
screen. I need y'all to vote on it. Is it Manon or Manon? Because I probably it's
Manon.
Manon.
Wait, has Malicia listened to the books yet? Throne of Glass?
I don't think she's gotten that far yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
She'll be on my side.
So she
might not agree with how it's said, but she's going to be like, that's how they say it. Colette.
Okay. So go ahead, Manon.
Manon. But no, she's another one. You're not there yet, so I don't. I'm gonna speak on it, but you're not there yet, so you have not
excuse me
had the opportunity to see that side of her. But she is selfless.
I feel like
badass. I think she's probably. But no,
I've seen her selflessness, especially with the 13. Like when Asterin told her what happened, what her grandmother did, and she was like, "Don't trust her," and
you see it a lot more as the books
go
on.
Even with Dorian, I was like, "What is happening? I don't know if I like it, but I like it and I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like. I'm conflicted about that."
I go back and forth. I go back and forth between her and Aelin being my favorite female character from the book.
Really?
Lysandra's up there too.
Yeah.
She's
I
up there.
forgot about Lysandra.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
I just had to put Luna because that's been my girl.
I'm adding her right now. Lysandra. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
So Colette has an L, y'all.
Lysandra hard body. I love her.
From Throne of Glass. I know. I love the way Sarah J. Maas did that with her.
And it's so funny coming from where she came from, because I was like, this bitch.
Because in Assassin's Blade, I was like, ew.
And then I didn't like the fact that her and Sam
were friends. Your face.
And I didn't like the fact that her and Sam was friends. I was like, you need to back up off of Sam.
But now you know, you understand it.
Yeah.
So Manon.
Do you have an N?
I do not. I'm good all the way to S.
Okay, well, I have an N and an R. So my N is Nina Knight from the Nina Knight series. Her Name is Knight. It's 3 books. This is the first one. Listen. She is... Did you ever see Colombiana with Zoe Saldana?
I fell asleep during the movie.
Okay. Well, Nina Knight is kind of like that. She is an assassin for the tribe.
Okay.
So the book is essentially about her. She was a sort of a princess. She came from this African village. Her dad was like the chief, so she was up there. She was, and they came, they destroyed her village. They took her, they sold her off into human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
She was essayed for some years, until she finally was able to unalive that man that was doing it and escape. And she was on the streets for some time, and this lady, she went into a store because, you know, like I said, she was doing that for years. So she was in this like little locked room. She hadn't seen society, so to speak. And then where she was living in a village, she was literally in a village. She didn't have a TV or anything. And I don't feel like that's a clear depiction of all of African countries, but I feel like that was just her village of where she and when she finally escaped, she went to like this store and she found a cologne that her dad would wear. And her dad was murdered when they came into her village. So she took the cologne and then she found a scent that her mom would always wear. And she took that and she didn't have money. She didn't know she had to pay for it. So she was ready to steal it. And they were the store clerk was like, you can't take it out of here. And she was ready to just run with the items because that was the only memory, I guess you can say, of her parents that she had. You know what I mean? And the lady comes in and she's like, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. So she pays for her items. The lady leaves out. And then all of a sudden she hears a scuffle in the alley. And it's somebody trying to rob the lady. So she knows how to fight after having to unalive that man. So she went in because, you know, she just paid for her items so that they wouldn't call the cops on her. She went in and helped her out. And then the lady calls and she was like, I need a cleaner. So she brought her in. She was like, you could have just left me. You didn't have to, you know, help me out or do anything. And it goes from there. She grows into like an assassin and all of that. It's really
okay.
Good.
Maybe I read too many crazy books, but did the lady set all that up so she could recruit her?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was literally a happenstance. Yeah, they adopted her and like as a
okay.
But it's really, really good. And then the guy in there, I went back and forth. No, I didn't. Hold on. Oh, I did go back and forth between him and Cassian. There was a guy in there. His name is Cortland. He reminds me a lot of the guy from Ginny and something. Georgia. And and he had a daughter and he would call her Peach because her name was Georgia. And I was like, oh, I know. Loved him. But yeah, really.
I remember you telling us about that.
I wrote an extensive review on my Instagram post about it. Like, I loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. It was great. I loved it. And then my next one is R, which is Rhiannon from Fourth Wing.
She was one of your favorites. You always did. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
And I liked her more in Iron Flame because it was like, you know, what's her name? Violet was hiding stuff. And when she finally told her, Rhiannon was like, bitch, you should have been told me. I could have been helping you. Yep. Like, she was best friend of the year. Loved her. She's so loyal. Love her.
Yes. Iron Flame definitely solidified her loyalty because in Fourth Wing, you were, you know, not you, like we were all kind of like, we didn't know who.
Yeah.
Iron Flame solidified that for me, for her. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Who's your S?
Skeeter from The Help.
The little white girl?
Yeah.
Okay. I just had to confirm. Like, that was the one that wanted to be author, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I loved her spunk. I loved her. Gosh, why can't that word come to me? Like, anyways, her persistence, her, anyways, just her. Okay. Okay. She was hilarious.
Okay.
She was hilarious. That's it. Gosh, I'm going to figure out the word that I'm trying to say.
Okay. My S is Simi from Skin of the Sea.
What?
Simi, S-I-M-I.
Okay.
From Skin of the Sea. And we literally were talking about it this morning where they had African stories about mermaids. So it was about that. And essentially that she was a mermaid or whatever, and then she goes on this quest with a guy, and it was funny because they had different gods for different things. So they had the goddess of the ocean, they have a goddess of land, they have a god of sun, all of that, and all the gods interact. The mermaids knew, the people didn't know.
Okay.
So when the mermaid saves the guy, her job as the mermaid, it's a different story. It's not, their thing is they take their souls because you're supposed to drown and die. That's essentially what you do. They're supposed to take their souls and carry them off to the goddess of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was like, well, he's still alive and he's fighting to live, so I'm going to help him and take him to land. And that brings her on this quest, and it goes from there. But I don't like the way it ended. There's 2 books in the series. I don't like the way it ended, and not that it's a bad ending. It's more so they finally come back to one another. Because you know me, I love a bleeding heart.
Yes, you do.
And he's like, look, I done been through all of this. And she's like, well, I want to go see if my mama's still alive. Girl, if you don't go marry that man and have some babies and then go check on your mama, I've been waiting 2 books for this. That's just how I felt.
I can't stand you.
I still love her. But that's just me, you know? Like I wanted the traditional happy ending, I guess you would say. But it was still a happy ending.
Perseverance.
Okay. She's like, I'm going to find this word.
Because it just was not.
And I only have 1 letter left, which is T.
I have Y and Z. Go ahead with your T.
Okay. My T is Trinity Jordan from The AI Who Loved Me.
Wait, the AI?
Mm-hmm.
Colette.
Yes.
You didn't tell me. You read an AI romance?
I did. Listen, I'm not even.
Hold on, I need to recover.
Kindle recommended it to me. It was on Kindle Unlimited. They recommended it to me. It was actually it was surprisingly a good read. It was really, really good. It was cute. It's a very short book. I don't think it's more than 300 pages. But they were able to fit in all of that, and it was just really cute. It kind of reminded me of, you ever watch Nikita? La Femme no. Nikita?
Okay. Maybe I did. Is that old? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think they redid it on CW with this Asian chick, and I was like, who the hell is this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a 90s show, and they redid it in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that. She was trained to be an assassin, but then she lost her memory, and then there's this guy, and it goes from there.
Is the guy no, wait. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
It must have been good if she made the list.
I loved it because she really had to remember everything and kind of rediscover herself again. So
okay.
Yeah. Just saying. All right, go ahead with your Y and your Z.
Irene Towers.
I haven't gotten that far yet. She's all right with me right now.
First of all, the fact that you know that's Kayal's wife eventually should be enough, because to deal with that mofo, because I don't care how many times I read the series and everything ends well, I don't like him.
I don't like him either.
So, but no, she's on my list. She's badass. Keep reading. You'll figure it out.
Okay.
She's from Throne of Glass, y'all. But yeah, and then I have a Z. So I read this. Okay, her name is Zoe Martinique, and it's the Zoe Martinique series by Phaedra Welton. Years ago, I'm talking about Zelda was like 3 years old when I bought this book. I bought a book on clearance at Barnes and Noble, and then I was like, okay, let me read it. Fell in love. She's funny. She's quirky. She can astral project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like, but it's a series,
Mhm.
really funny, cute, paranormal series. There we go, I got it.
Mhm.
But yeah, so she's my Z.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far.
Well, you know, we never started tracking these until Alana was like,
Right.
so
All right, y'all. So that concludes this video. Let us know if you agree with any of our picks, if you have any for any of the letters we have missing. Like Liz said, we'll have a template that you guys can use and join us on our quest as we discover other baddies that we want to talk about and add to the list. And we'll also have one for the guys as well.
yes, that'll be up on our Instagram as well.
Yes.
At Pero Comma Podcast on Instagram.
Yeah. I love the name.
Me too.
It brings me joy. All right, y'all. We will see you later. Thank you so much for watching. Again,
Yes, thank you guys.
Important. We really appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, all of that.
And some. No, I'm just joking. Is there some? Okay. Bye, guys.